Today I wanted to talk about the book that King James wrote. I didn't know that he even wrote a book. You know, he's well known for the King James Version Authorized Bible, and that is my preferred Bible to read. And I thought it was so interesting that he wrote a book, and the book is called Demonology. So I didn't read the book, but I listened to a dialogue monologue by an individual on YouTube, and I'm going to link that in the description so you guys can check it out. And I thought it was so interesting, the topics that he touched on in his book, because I feel like it gives you a lot of insight into who King James was and the things that concerned him, especially about witches, that he must have dealt with a lot of witchcraft coming against him, and he was very instrumental in witch trials, you know, and I think he led that charge of witch trials. So Demonology was written in 1597. Wow. So, you know, the King James Bible was written or released in 1611. So I wanted to talk about the preface. So in the preface, he talks about why basically he wrote this. And he wrote this as a dialogue between two people, kind of like a question answer, kind of like dialogue. And I believe he wrote this looking at the preface. There were two literary writers who were denying spirits. They're denying demons, like demons don't exist, witches don't exist, and they wrote pieces on that. And as a response to that, he felt like he had to write this. So it's pretty hard to read because if you can see a little bit, that the words but it's pretty hard to read because it's like very, very old English. And I know they don't have J's here, and some of the letters were not even in this alphabet. It's so old. So V is one of them. So they use U for V. So it's very confusing. Like it says devil is spelled Deuill. I'm not going to read it, but I want to talk about some of the things that he talks about in here. So like I said, he wrote this as a response, pretty much, to prove that, to show that there are evil spirits that we're dealing with on a regular basis. And during that time, there's a lot of denial of witches or denial of evil spirits. So he calls witches the slaves of the devil, and he says he was moved to write this. So the book is going to be 3 books. He divided into 3 books. The first is magic and necromancy, and the second is sorcery and witchcraft, and the third continues a discourse of all the kinds of spirits that he's talking about, and specters that appear and trouble people. So he's trying to prove 2 things: that such devilish arts have been and are, and that they merit severe punishment. Because he was serious. He was not suffering a witch to live. He was serious about that scripture that says, don't suffer a witch to live. He was serious about that. He says that the devil is able to put sickness on people. I say and prove by discourse diverse arguments that witches can, by the power of their master, the devil, cure or cast on diseases. Now, by these same reasons that prove their power by the devil of diseases in general, as well prove their power in special of weakening the nature of some men, making them unable for women. And he says the devil is pretty much like an instrument of punishment. Is God's instrument of punishment. Through this, God draws glory to himself, either by the wreck of the wicked in his justice, or by the trial of the patient and the amendment of the faithful, being wakened up with that rod of correction. It's very interesting.